Hi, I am Dr. Abhishek Joshi, and in this video lecture I am going to discuss about the step index fiber and the gradient index fiber. So first we are going to discuss about the normalized frequency and the V number. So the sum of the squares of the U and W coefficients define a very useful quantity as the normalized frequency V. So normalized frequency V can be written as U square plus V square whole under root, and it is nothing but k times of n1 square minus n2 square when we substitute the value of U and W. So what is k? K is a wave number given by 2 pi by lambda. And what is n1 square minus n2 square under root? This is nothing but the numerical aperture. So if we substitute the numerical aperture, so the normalized frequency can be expressed in terms of the numerical aperture and the relative refractive index difference, that is delta. So we know the relation between the numerical aperture and the delta, that is gradient index difference. So our normalized frequency V can be written as 2 pi by lambda a n1, that is refractive index of the core, twice of delta under root. So the normalized frequency is a dimensionless parameter, hence is also sometimes called as the V number or the value of the fiber. So it combines in a very useful manner the information about the three important design variables for the fiber, namely the core radius, the relative refractive index difference delta, and the operating wavelength lambda. So it is possible to define the normalized propagation constant B. We are representing the normalized propagation constant by small b for a fiber in terms of the parameter such that is U and V, that is B is equals to 1 minus U square by V square. Substituting the value of U and V in the formula, we get that is B by beta by K whole square minus N2 divided by N1 square minus N2 square. And we know that N1 square minus N2 square is nothing but under root of the numerical aperture. So numerical aperture can be written as, that is, we know the relation between the numerical aperture and delta. So we are getting beta by K whole square minus N2 square by 2 N1 square delta. Referring to the expression for the guided modes, the limit of beta are N2K and N1K. So this beta lies between the range, that is N2K and N1K. And the small b, the value of small b, that is a normalized propagation constant, lies between 0 and 1. So each mode has a corresponding frequency below which the mode cannot propagate. This frequency of the mode is called the cutoff frequency. The V number of the optical fiber is very important characteristics which is proportional to the frequency of the propagating light inside the fiber. So in other words, for a particular mode to propagate inside the fiber, the V number of the fiber must be greater than the V number corresponding the cutoff frequency of the mode. So cutoff frequency is very important. For example, the fiber have the V number lower than 2.4 allows only one mode, that is HE11 mode, or it is known as LP01 mode. No other mode can propagate in the fiber, therefore such a fiber called a single mode fiber, because it is only propagating one mode at a time. So in order to accommodate the higher order modes, the V number of the fiber should be increased. Note that the V number of the fiber does not depend on the individual characteristics of the core or the cladding, but depends on the characteristics of the core cladding combination. Since the V number of the optical fiber is proportional to the frequency, so it is called the normalized frequency. So normalized frequency is also known as V number. For a particular mode to propagate, V number of the fiber corresponding to that mode must be greater than certain value, which is the cutoff value for the mode. Moreover, the propagation constant beta for this mode has to be nearer to beta 1 and larger than beta 2. We know that beta 1 is given by n1 times of k beta 2 is given by n2 times of k, and beta, the propagation constant, lies between n2k and n1k, or we can say that beta lies between beta 2 and beta 1. So in other words, the value of the propagation constant related to beta 1 and beta 2 is indicative the amount of the energy in the mode that lies in the core and the cladding. So as we can see, there are mixing of the modes, that is, if we add He21 and Te01, we are getting Lp11 mode in a horizontal polarization and Lp11 mode in the vertical polarization. Here we have He21 mode and Tm01 mode, that is a combination of Lp11, or we can get Lp11 either in the vertical polarization or horizontal polarization. So similar possibilities exist for Lp01 mode 2. The only difference comes due to the circular symmetric nature of the intensity pattern. So there are two types or two possible orientation of the polarization, either vertical polarization or horizontal polarization. So thus for Lp01 mode, there is a degeneracy. So we are calling it as, because we are getting degeneracy in the modes of 2, and Lp11 mode, there is a degeneracy of a factor 4, because Lp11 mode are having the 4 patterns, the 4 possible patterns, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So similarly, if we calculate the degeneracies of each mode when the number of modes in the fiber is very large, sum up the number of the modes that propagate inside the fiber approximately given by, so number of modes that is supported by fiber is given by m equals to v square by 2, where capital M is the number of modes, V is the V number of the optical fiber. Now the next important topic is the mode coupling. Mode coupling means when the energy of one mode is transferred to another mode, it is known as mode coupling. Now let's understand what is that. The waveguide perturbations such as the derivations of the fiber axis from the straightness, variations in the core diameter, irregularities at the core cladding interface, because it exists in the core cladding interface. If we have the core having the refractive index N1 and the cladding having the refractive index N2, we are calling it at the core cladding interface, the interface between the core and the cladding. And the refractive index variation may change the propagation characteristics of the fiber when we are talking about a fiber. So there will be the effect of the coupling energy traveling in one mode to another mode. So when we are talking about two different modes, for example, when we talk about Te01 mode is transferred, the energy is transferred to another mode, that is He11. So this we can say that the energy of one mode is transferred to another mode and it is perturbing the energy. So as we can see in the figure, due to the irregularity in the fiber, there is the angle of incidence phi 1 is not equals to the angle of reflection phi 2. So due to these irregularities, we are illustrating the ray theory illustration showing the two possible fiber perturbations which give the mode coupling, that is the irregularity at the core cladding interface, and if the fiber bands, even the fiber bands may couple the power. So from the figure, it may be observed that in both cases the ray no longer maintains the same angle with the axis. In electromagnetic waves, the theory, this corresponds to the change in the propagating mode for the light. So thus for the individual mode do not normally propagate throughout the length of the fiber without large energy transfers to adjacent modes. Even when the fiber is exceptionally good quality, and is not straightened or bent by its surrounding. So this mode conversion is known as the mode coupling or the mode mixing. So mode coupling affects the transmission properties of the fiber in several important ways, that is, the one being in relation to the dispersive properties of the fiber over the long distance. Dispersion means the broadening of the pulses is known as dispersion. In subsequent lecture, we are going to discuss about that. Now we'll discuss about the step index fiber. So the optical fiber with a core of constant refractive index N1 and the cladding refractive index, that is N2, is known as a stepped index fiber. So this is because the refractive index profile for this type of the fiber makes a step change in the core cladding interface. We'll see in the figure in the next. Here we can see the profile of the step index fiber. It's making a step where we have the refractive index is varying, that is N2 and N1. So the refractive index profile may be defined as NR for a given radius. For R that is less than the core radius A, we are having the refractive index profile given by N1 for the core. Here for cladding, the radius is greater than equals to the core radius. We are having the refractive index profile, that is N2 for cladding. As we can see from the figure, we have the step index profile, and with the radius it is varying with R. So here we have the core and the cladding, and the multiple waves are propagating inside the stepped index fiber. So when we are talking about the multi-mode stepped index fiber, another one is the example of the single mode stepped index fiber when only one mode is propagating. So when we are talking about multi-mode, we require larger radius of the core. When we are talking about the single mode, we require less radius of the core. So here we can see the refractive index profile. So for this radius, the core radius is smaller in case of single mode. For multi-mode, the core radius is larger. So this we can analyze from this figure. So we have the refractive index profile and the ray transmission in a step index fiber for a multi-mode step index fiber, and this figure is for the single mode step index fiber. So the figure shows the multi-mode step index fiber with a core diameter of 50 micrometer or greater, which is large enough to allow the propagation of many modes within the fiber core. So this is illustrated in figure A, that many different possible ray paths through the fiber, and in the figure B we have seen that the single mode or a mono mode step index fiber, which allows the propagation of only one transverse electromagnetic mode, that is HE11 mode, and hence the core diameter must be of the order, it is having the smaller diameter as compared to the multi-mode fiber, which is having 50 micrometer. Here we have 2 to 10 micrometers of the diameter. So the propagation of the single mode is illustrated in a figure B as corresponding to the single ray path only through the fiber. So the single mode step index fiber has the distinct advantage of low intermodal dispersion. So between two modes, for example, we have, if we are talking about LP01 mode or HE11 mode, the energy is transferred to, let's say TE10 mode, then we can say that there is an intermodal dispersion, means there is a broadening of the pulses for this modal dispersion. So as only one mode is transmitted in case of the single mode stepped index fiber. So whereas in case of the multi-mode stepped index fiber, considerable dispersion may occur. So broadening of the pulses or the dispersion loss occurring in a multi-mode stepped index fiber due to the differing group velocities of the propagating mode, and this is in turn restrict the maximum bandwidth attainable with a multi-mode stepped index fiber, especially with compared to the single mode fiber. So for lower bandwidth applications, multi-mode fiber have several advantages over the single mode fiber. So we are having three major advantages. The use of the spatially incoherent optical sources which cannot be efficiently coupled to single mode fiber. Another advantage is large numerical aperture as well as the core diameters facilitating the easier coupling to the optical sources. And third advantage is lowering the tolerance requirement on fiber connectors. So when we are talking about the stepped index fiber, the multi-mode stepped index fiber allows the propagation of finite number of the guided modes along the channel, and the number of the guided modes dependent upon the physical parameters, that is the relative refractive index difference. So this we have denoted by delta, that, and another is the core radius. Core radius we have represented by small a of the fiber, and the wavelength of the transmitted light, wavelength we are representing it by lambda, which is included in the normalized frequency, that is V for the fiber. There is a cutoff value of the normalized frequency, that is Vc, for the guided modes below which they cannot exist. Mode may propagate as unguided or the leaky modes which can travel considerable distance along the fiber. So the total number of the guided modes or the mode volume, that is Ms for a stepped index fiber, is related to the V number that is given by Ms, that is approximately equals to V square by 2. So in an ideal multi-mode stepped index fiber with properties, that is relative index difference and the core diameter, which are independent of the distance, there is no mode coupling, and optical power launched into a particular mode remains in the mode and travels independently of the power launched into the other guided modes. So most of the optical fiber or optical power is carried in the core region, not in the cladding. So when we are talking about the ideal case, it is traveling only inside the core. So the properties of the cladding does not therefore significantly affect the propagation of these modes. So let's consider one numerical based on the stepped index fiber. A multi-mode stepped index fiber with a core diameter of 80 micrometers and a relative index difference of 1.5% is operating at a wavelength of 0.85 micrometers. If the core refractive index is 1.48, estimate the normalized frequency for the fiber and the number of the guided modes. So normalized frequency may be obtained from, that is V number, that is given by 2 pi by lambda times of A n1 twice of delta under root. So substituting the value, we are getting as 75.8. So total number of guided modes inside the stepped index fiber, using the equation, we know that the number of modes can be calculated as V square by 2. So value of V is 75.8, 75.8 square, we are getting 5745.6 divided by 2. It is the total number of modes are 22,873. Now the next important topic is the graded index fiber. So graded index fiber does not have a constant refractive index but a decreasing core index with respect to the radial distance or radius from a maximum value, that is having n1 at the axis to a constant value n2. So it is varying from n1 to n2 beyond the core radius a in the cladding. So even in the cladding it is varying. So the index variation may be represented as, so we have nr, that is equals to n1 times of 1 minus 2 delta r by lambda r by a alpha 1 by 2 for the core, that is r is less than a. For r is greater than a, in case of the cladding, we are having n1 times of 1 minus 2 delta under root, that is equals to n2. So where delta is the relative refractive index difference and alpha is the profile parameter which gives the characteristics refractive index profile of the fiber core. The refractive index profile of the fiber core is a variation of alpha. Depending on the value of the alpha, we can define whether it is having a triangular profile or a parabolic profile or a stepped profile. So depending on the value of alpha, we can define the profile followed by the refractive index of the graded index fiber. So it allows the representation of the stepped index profile for alpha equals to infinite, a parabolic profile with alpha equals to 2, a triangular profile for alpha equals to 1. So this range of the refractive index profile, as we can see from the figure, we have the refractive index of the cladding as N2 and N2 respectively. When we are taking N equals to infinite, it becomes the stepped index fiber. So the possible fiber relative refractive index profiles for different values of alpha as shown in the figure with respect to the radial distance r. So in case of the graded index fiber, let's consider the parabolic profile which is having this fashion, and the refractive index is given by N1, and for cladding it is N2, and we can see the multi-mode propagation, and the radius of the core here we have seen it is A. So the refractive index profile and the ray transmission in the multi-mode graded index fiber. So it may be observed that the meridional rays shown appear to follow the curved path through the fiber core. So using the concept of the geometric optics, the gradual decrease in the refractive index from the center of the core creates many refractions of the rays as they are effectively incident on a large number or a high to low index interfaces. This mechanism is illustrated in the above figure where a ray is shown to gradually curved. So here we can see curving of the ray in the figure. The ray enters from air to the core, then it start bending due to the gradual change in the refractive index. Again there will be gradual change, again there is a gradual change in the refractive index at different layers of the core, and here at this point there is a total internal reflection. So after this point the wave is completely returned back. So here we can see the refractive index is changing from N1, N2, N3, N4, N5 and N6, where the value of the refractive index N1 is having the highest value, then it is decreasing with the distance, that is N1, then N2, then N3, then N4, then N5, N6 and so on. So an expanded ray diagram showing the refraction at the various high to low refractive index interface with a graded index fiber giving an overall curved path. So multi-mode graded index fiber exhibits far less intermodal dispersion than a multi-mode stepped index fiber due to their refractive index profile. Considering the ray theory, the ray traveling close to the fiber axis have shorter paths which compared with the ray which travels in the outer region of the core, that is having the highest refractive index but least refractive index profile. However, the near axial ray are transmitted through a region of higher refractive index and therefore travel with a lower velocity than the more extreme ray. So this compensates for the shorter path and length and reduce the dispersion in the fiber. So multi-mode graded index fiber with parabolic or near parabolic index profile have the transmission bandwidth greater than the multi-mode step index fiber. That is the main reason why we are using the graded index fiber versus the step index fiber. So multi-mode graded index fibers are not capable of the bandwidth attainable with single mode fibers. Such multi-mode graded index fibers have an advantage of large core diameter which is greater than 30 micrometers of wavelength. So coupled with a bandwidth suitable for long distance communication. So the total number of guided modes can be calculated with the formula, that is mg, that is approximately equals to alpha by alpha plus 2 and multiply with v square by 2, where v is the v number. So there is one numerical based on the graded index fiber So a gradient index fiber have a core with a parabolic refractive index profile which have a diameter of 50 micrometers. The fiber has a numerical aperture of 0.2. So value of Na is given as 0.2. Estimate the total number of the guided modes propagating in the fiber when it is operating at a wavelength of 1 micrometer. So wavelength is already given to us. So we can substitute the values in the formula of mg we can get. So using the equation of the normalized frequency, first we have to calculate the normalized frequency. It is given by 2 pi by lambda a times of the numerical aperture. So substituting, we are getting a V number as 31.4. The mode volume or the number of guided modes supported by the parabolic profile can be calculated as, that is V square by 4, that is 986 by 4. So we are getting 247 modes that can be supported by the gradient index fiber. So when we are talking about the single mode fiber, only one mode propagates inside a single mode fiber. So in single mode optical fiber, signal dispersion caused by the delay difference between the different modes in a multimode fiber may be avoided. So that's why we may use single mode fiber. In multimode step index fibers, due to the difficulties of maintaining single mode operation within the fiber when mode conversion to other guided modes takes place. Hence, for the transmission of the single mode, the fiber must be designed to allow the propagation of only one mode. So this is important because we are calling it as single mode. So only one mode propagates, while all other modes are attenuated or by leakage or absorption inside the core or the cladding. So for single mode operation, only the fundamental mode, that is LP01 mode, in some cases it is known as HE11 mode, can exist. So hence the limit of the single mode operation depends on the lower limit of the guided propagation of LP11 mode, and the cutoff normalized frequency of LP11 mode is, in case of the step index fiber, occur at the cutoff normalized frequency, that is 2.405. Thus for a single mode propagation of the LP mode in the step index fiber is possible over the range. The range of V number is from 0 to 2.405, as there is no cutoff for the fundamental mode. So the term, that is single mode, applies to the propagation of light of a particular polarization. So the normalized frequency for the fiber may be adjusted to within the range given in equation by reduction of the core radius and possibly the relative refractive index difference, following which the single mode fiber usually less than 1%. There is one numerical based on the single mode fiber. Let's estimate the maximum core diameter of the optical fiber, same as the relative refractive index difference, that is 1.5%, and the core refractive index is given by 1.48. As a fiber in the core that is may be suitable for single mode operation, it may be assumed that the fiber is operating at the same wavelength, that is 0.85 micrometers. So further estimate the new maximum core diameter for a single mode fiber operation when the relative refractive index difference is reduced by the factor of 10. So solution for this numerical. So considering the relation which we can see with a V number, we have the value, that is 2.4. So the core diameter can be calculated as V lambda by 2 pi n1 twice of delta. Substituting, we are getting the value of the core diameter A as 1.3 micrometers. So the maximum core diameter for this case is given by 2.6. So reducing the relative refractive index difference by the factor of 10. So what we will get? We will get the core diameter of 4 micrometers. So core diameter will be the double of the radius, so it will be getting 8 micrometers of the diameter. So gradient index fiber designed for a single mode operation. Other specialist fiber design do adopt such non-stepped index. So when we define to support a single mode fiber, the cutoff frequency should be 2.405 plus 1 plus 2 by alpha under root. For alpha equals to 2, for the parabolic profile we can consider. So one more numerical we can discuss, that is for the graded index fiber with a parabolic profile and having the refractive index at the core axis that is equals to 1.5 and the relative refractive index is 1%. So we have to estimate the maximum core diameter which allows the single mode operation at 1.3 micrometers. So solution for this, first you have to find the V number or the normalized frequency. So simply substituting the value of alpha, that is for parabolic profile it is alpha equals to 2, we are getting 2.4 under root 2. So maximum core radius can be calculated as with the formula V lambda by 2 pi n1 and under root 2 delta. Substituting the value we are getting a core radius of 3.3 micrometers and the diameter is 6.6 micrometers. So what are the advantages of using the single mode fiber? So they exhibit the greater transmission bandwidth and lowest loss of the fiber transmission media. They have a superior transmission quality over the fiber types because of the absence of the modal noise. Third advantage is they offer a sustainable upgrade capability for the future wide bandwidth services using either faster optical transmitter and the receiver advanced transmission techniques. The fourth advantage is they are compatible with the developing integrated optics technology. So the reason for 1 to 4 for advantages that provide confidence that the installation of single mode fiber will provide a transmission medium which will be adequate performance such that it will not require replacement over the anticipated lifetime of more than 20 years. So we have different single mode profiles as we can see. This is for the stepped index. The variation can be seen. Here we have the higher refractive index N1, then N2, then N2, then another N1, N1. So these different profiles can be used for the single mode profiles optimized for the operation of the wavelength at 1.3 micrometers. The conventional matched cladding design, the segmented core matched cladding design, the depressed cladding design and the profile specification of the depressed cladding fibers. So in the conventional multimode fibers, the region external to the core has a constant uniform refractive index which is slightly lower than the core refractive index typically consist of the pure silica. Alternately, when the core regions comprises pure silica, then the lower refractive index cladding is obtained through fluorine doping. So next is the cutoff wavelength. So cutoff wavelength, we have the formula. Simply we can use that formula of the V number to find the cutoff wavelength lambda c, that is equals to 2 pi a n1 by Vc twice of delta under root, and by dividing these two equations, that is equation we can number as 1 and 2, we can get lambda c by lambda, that is nothing but V by Vc, or we can eliminate lambda c, that is the cutoff wavelength, that is equals to V lambda by 2.405, because we know that for a step index fiber the Vc, the cutoff frequency, is given by 2.405. So number of the guided modes of the wavelength waveguide depends on the optical wavelength. The shorter the wavelength, more modes can be guided. For long wavelength, there will be only single guided mode, not all. So the range of the cutoff wavelength varies from 1.1 to 1.28 micrometers for a single mode fiber designed for the 1.3 micrometer of wavelength. So practical transmission system are generally operated to the effective cutoff wavelength. So that's why we are required to calculate the cutoff wavelength in order to enhance the fundamental mode confinement. So there is one numerical based on this. Determine the cutoff wavelength for a step index fiber to exhibit the single mode operation when the core refractive index and the radiuses are given by 1.46 and 4.5 micrometer respectively, with the relative refractive index of 0.25%. So using the formula, we are having the cutoff wavelength, that is lambda c. Substituting the values in the formula, we are getting 1214 nanometers. So we are getting the wavelength, that is for a single mode. Next is a mode field diameter. So we have स्टॉप कर दें क्या? 2 स्लाइड थी, अब 2 स्लाइड बची है, 2 मिनट और लगेंगे। हाँ अच्छा ठीक है, तो इसको नेक्स्ट में कर लेंगे। हाँ व्यूज कम आ रहे हैं। व्यूज तो कम इसलिए आ रहे हैं क्योंकि बच्चे अभी आए हैं ना, इसमें ये कोर्स अभी स्टार्ट हुआ है। तो अब थैंक यू बोल दूं लास्ट स्लाइड में? ओके So in this lecture we have discussed about the normalized frequency or V number, then we have discussed about the mode coupling, step index fiber, then the graded index fiber and single mode fiber, the single mode and step index different profiles, then the cutoff wavelength. So we are going to discuss the mode field diameter in our subsequent lecture. Thank you.